track temperature looks warm. That may or may not play into some of the team's hands in today's race.
Hey, well then everybody, so we're moments away from the start of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix here at the Purple Sector Formula 1 League, as this round 17 of this 24 round season for season 14. Got 13 drivers out on the track here tonight, as it looks like we've got Badman and Scott, the front two drivers, starting on the medium tyres here for tonight. But I'm seeing a real mix-up in terms of the tyres that the drivers have chosen for the first stint. Seems like there is a lot of variance in what people think is going to be the best tyres to get you to first pit stop. But the front two definitely going for a quick start here. So here we are then, the final cars lined up on the grid. And we're moments away from the start of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix here at Purple Sector for season 14. And it's lights out, we're underway. As looks as though Badman gets a good start off of the line's going to lead into turn one. Scott there looking down the inside too far back. We've got C-Mac there, who just had a look there on Ernie, but he looks more vulnerable here to Rexy Boy at the moment. Going in towards turn two, we've got Williams there looking up the inside. Mango there trying to have a look. C-Dot's made up a load of places here on this opening lap. He's up into 7th place already, so he's basically picked off all of the back markers here in this one as C-Dot. As Scott looking to the inside of Badman into turn three, a little bit too far back to make it happen, but he was well alongside there as he went into the braking zone. As there's Rexy Boy there ahead of C-Mac in 4th place. And Matty Pitt has got ahead of Mango, and Mango's dropping places here, has dropped behind Truckee as well, so Truckee back up into 9th place, as we've got T just behind him as well, also having a look on the inside. Oh, and T there has gone for an absolutely rash move there up the inside. The door closed, and he comes off worse in that one. He's got White Shadow and John behind him, as John has had an incident here and is in the, well, he's gone wide onto the runoff area, and John well off at the back of the rest of the pack at the moment on this opening lap of the race, but Badman still leading ahead of Scott, and the rest of the pack here keeping in close contention at the moment. It's all the way down to 7th place. You've got a train of cars here. Oh my goodness, was that Rex Boy? Was it C-Mac there? I think it was, that went seeming into the wall there. I didn't quite catch which car it was, but T nonetheless has retired from the race in the very early stage of this one. Is that going to be a VSC? I don't think it is. I think they're going to, actually is a VSC, yeah, so race halted for a moment here whilst we get our marbles back, but that is a disaster there for T, disaster for John as well, obviously minus the front wing now, and we'll have to come into the pits and get that fixed. He could have done with a safety car for sure. And in fact, do you know what? I think it is a safety car, so it's been upgraded to a safety car. It was initially a VSC, it's now a safety car, which will be good for John here. I'll give him a chance to catch up to the pack and challenge the guys for some points here tonight. But we've got Rexy Boy and G.C. both in the pits here at the end of lap 1. So those guys started on what looks to be, well, G.C. started on the mediums, sorry, the hards. Rexy Boy, I don't know. I'm assuming Rex Boy started on the mediums. He's put the hards on now anyway. But White Shadow's gone for the new set of medium tyres. G.C.'s gone for a new set of mediums as well. And John is also in the pits here. Let's see what tyres John puts on. He's put on another set of hard tyres, so he's definitely got to pit again. So that's going to be very interesting later on. But nonetheless, Badman is leading under safety car here. Scott, Ernie, C-Mac, the top 4 drivers here. Then you got Drauger, Matty Pitt, 2 Mercedes there in P5 and 6 at the moment. Truckee and Mango doing a good job here so far. Rexy Boy and White Shadow completing that top 10 with G.C. and John rounding out the classification there with T out of the race in these early stages. Here we are then, guys, moments away from the restart. Safety car coming in, so we've got Badman leading us ahead of Scott. Still the similar order to what we saw. Obviously a couple of drivers came into the pits to get a new set of boots on for this restart, but back underway here at Baku as we've got C-Mac already defending from Drago into turn 1. Looks like the rest of them are all staying as they were, apart from G.C. who's looking around the outside of Drexiboy, his teammate, but nothing doing as he's now looking to try and get the run. But a little bit too far away. They're going into turn 2. But Badman leading the race here ahead of Scott for the time being. Scott a little way back at the moment as they come down towards turn 3. Once again, you've got a Mercedes here. Matty looking to the inside of his teammate into turn 3, but not in range to do a whole lot there. But Badman's still leading the race at the moment ahead of Scott. As C-Mac there, bit of a wobble coming out of that out of that right-hander, and looking like they're all holding position at the moment. We've got the Ferrari again of G.C. looking to the inside of his teammate, but just not quite in a position to do that. Matty Pitt also looking on his teammate as they come through the corner for the castle section, but he's not going to make a move into the castle section. I think we can be pretty sure about that, and he's going to have to continue to sit behind him for a little bit longer here. But Badman out the front, half a second is gap to Scott. Scott keeping him honest out the front. The gap was half a second in qualifying, but we've seen this actually over the course of the season. When Scott gets a crack at Badman, we see he actually is able to go toe to toe with him pretty impressively. He won't get DRS because it's his first lap of the restart, so he'd have to wait another lap for this. Otherwise, he'd be in a prime position to overtake here because he is right on his gearbox as they come through the final few corners of the lap. Nonetheless, he might still make the move because he's very close. The slipstream will count for something here. So Scott, right on the back of the race leader, then the championship leader here, pushed him all the way at Spa a few weeks ago, and Badman ultimately came on top in that one, but it was a very close race there between the two of them, and he's keeping him honest here tonight. Badman's got good straight line speed. That's taken him away from Scott. Despite Scott being in the slipstream, he couldn't do anything there at all as Mango's come into the pits here at the end of lap 4, so I would assume for damage because that's a lap after the safety car came in. Otherwise it wouldn't make a whole load of logical sense, but nonetheless we've got Drauga here on the back of C-Mac as they're coming down towards turn 3. Pretty close here, 0.3 of a second separating them into the braking zone. And Badman's still holding firm at the moment. C-Mac falling up back into the clutches here of Jaga and potentially might lose out the DRS here as Trucky's binned it here. Trucky's at a moment going through sector 1. He's absolutely well, actually for a second there I thought he'd taken out the left side. He has so that wasn't me being delusional. He did actually take out the left side of his front wing there. The panels come off, the structure's still there, but oh, sorry, I do apologise, but yeah, that's going to be costing him quite a lot of time per lap, I would have thought. But nonetheless, Badman's still out the front with it, just under a second of a gap here over Scott. We got Jaga there making the move on C-Mac up into 4th place. So he's been trying to make that move now for a few laps. These guys are now well off of the top 3. So Jaga, if he's got any ambitions of winning this race, will be a bit frustrated with that. As we see White Shadow's got ahead of John now up into 9th place as well. So that's another position gained here on lap 5. But Badman's got the gap just over a second here over Scott, which is what he needs to solidify his race leading position at the moment. Also, this time a lap ago, Badman was a lot quicker down the straight than Scott, and we're seeing a similar story this time around as well. It doesn't seem like Scott has the top end, but he seems quick through the slower corners, the twisty parts of this track here tonight. I'll tell you what, Ernie, oh my goodness me, I was about to say Ernie's looking pretty hot on the back of Scott, but he's just almost lost it into the wall there coming out of turn 2. Matty's now got ahead of C-Mac up into P5. Now he can try and chase down the leaders. Matty Pitt, I said in qualifying, but I'll say it again now, obviously the outgoing league host here of the Purple Sector Formula 1 League, one of the founders and one of the owners here of the league, but announced last week he will not be racing next season in Purple Sector. Hopefully it's just a sabbatical, but sounded like it may be a long-term retirement here for Matty Pitt from F1 league racing for the time being. But I'm sure I'd love to go out on a high. Obviously champion of this Purple Sector Formula 1 League from 3 seasons ago. Would have been about a year or so ago now it would have been. I think they do 3 or 4 seasons a year, so would be about a year ago now Matty Pitt won his title. But I'm pretty sure there's a video of it. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure there's a video. And when you're outside the title, I'm not absolutely 100%. But anyway, still got Badman at the front, but just over a second of a gap here over Scott at the moment. As Ernie's still continuing to pile the pressure on, and Scott has got no straight line speed. Look at this. Ernie's absolutely steaming past him here. Has Scott got damage? Did he hit the wall in the final sector? I think he might have done, yeah. Scott's in the pits. So he must have had a moment there through the final part of that lap. That now releases Ernie into second place. Has Ernie got the pace of Badman to try and put him under a bit of pressure here? That's going to be an interesting one. But Ernie, 2 seconds adrift of Badman. Jaguar another 2 seconds adrift of him. Then you got another 2 seconds to Matty and Rexy Boy, who are currently fighting over 4th place here. But Matty Pitt for the time being keeping Rexy Boy at arm's length, with best part of a second between those two at the moment. Oh, it's White Shadow's out of the race. And safety car's been deployed again. It is Baku. Well, we shouldn't be surprised. But safety car out here on lap 7. Which is good actually, because I need to go on the computer for a second. stomach is burning. Oh, yeah. And I'm tired. Why am I even tired? I don't even know why I'm tired. Fucking hell. Oh, yeah. Here we are then, everybody. We are moments away from the restart here at Baku for this Azerbaijan Grand Prix here tonight, as we see the drivers now approaching the final flat out right hander before we go on to the start finish straight. Here we are then. So now it's a case of when Ernie puts his foot down. So Ernie's on the tyres which he started the race on. Rexy Boy's on the hard tyres which he had to put on at the end of the first lap. And now, because everyone else has pitted, he's found himself here in P2. So both of these guys on heavily worn out hard tyres. Bad man right behind them on fresh tyres. I was saying that about 4 of these 9 laps have been set under safety car conditions. So Ernie and Rexy Boy are going to have fresher tyres than you would think, being 9 laps on them. As they come into turn 1 here on lap 10 of the race. As looks like Mango is pretty close on the back of the truckie into turn 1, but too far away there. As they all come out onto the long straight which leads down towards turn 3. So Badman will be looking to try and get on with this as soon as he can. Obviously the driver in 3rd place, he was leading the first stint until we had the second safety car period in which he decided to come in for fresh tyres, as did Draga behind him, who's put the mediums on. Scott's also gone for the hards as well as Badman. Matty's gone for the mediums like Draga, but everybody else has gone for the hards except no one. They've all gone for the hards. Mango's still on the medium tyres which you put on in the first safety car period. Truckie's still on the hard tyres which you put on also in the first safety car period. But they're coming down towards the corner before the castle section. Batman had a little look there to the inside on Rexy Boy coming into the corner, but was just a bit too far away. Didn't see him go deep there. It looked like he went a bit deep into the corner. He's got it turned in nicely though. No dramas so far on this restart. Oh, did I just see a wheel go flying? No, I didn't. Sorry, I wasn't actually trolling there. It might have sounded like that. I just clocked that it probably did sound like I was trolling there. Genuinely I wasn't. I did think I saw something. But clearly I was just... No, it's me. Anyway. So we still got Ernie out the front. There's Rexy Boy, Badman, Draga, Scott. There's... do you know what? A couple of years ago I'd been able to read out all of those names in about 3 seconds. But I just can't do it anymore. My cognitive functioning has rapidly diminished, but nonetheless, Rexy Boy here is still pretty close on Ernie as they come over the line here to start lap 11 of the race. He's going to have a look here to the inside into turn 1. No DRS this time around, so he's done it on pure grunt here with a slipstream as well to help him out a little bit. Ernie's kept it around the outside there as they come out of the corner. Badman here is going to look to the outside now as we see Rexy Boy just trying to, well, sort of maybe put Ernie under pressure, but also defend it from the Haas here of Badman. Badman's now got the run down towards turn 3 with DRS this time, and Ernie could be vulnerable here because he's got no DRS. He's got a charging pack behind him, but Badman there moving up into 2nd place here ahead of Rexy Boy, and Rexy Boy down to P3, with Draga now moving ahead of Scott up into P4. So that's a nice move there from Draga, obviously on the faster tyre at this point in the stint, but as the stint wears on, we'll probably be seeing Scott coming back at him. In fact, Draga there completes that move there up into 4th place as they went side by side through that section. Great battle there between those two, good respect being shown. Not easy to go side by side through a series of corners around this circuit, but those guys showed us how to do it brilliantly there. See, they all are coming through the castle section now. Let's hope that nobody gets it wrong, because if anyone gets it wrong, then all the drivers behind them are going to pay the price, or at least the first one to come up on the scene, because as we know, the first driver to come up on the scene often doesn't ghost in time. So yeah, it does happen. I saw the other night, was it might have been was it last night, or was it a different league? I've forgotten. There was a league where Jordan Hillier had like Andrew Pittsmith basically crashed into the castle section right in front of Jordan Hillier, and Jordan's car didn't ghost in time, or Andrew's car didn't ghost in time, and he literally went straight into the back of him and took his front wing off, which was very unlucky indeed. I can't remember what league it was in. I can't remember if it was last night or 2 nights. I think it was last night. I think it might have been 2 nights ago. But nonetheless, we see Rex up the inside here of Draga into turn 1. Although Draga trying to keep it there around the outside has managed to actually do so very nicely there. In the background there, you've got G.C. attacking all over the back of C-Mac here. Sorry, not C-Mac. Sorry, it's not G.C. Sorry, it's Rexy Boy still attacking on Draga. As Matty Pitt seems to have fallen behind G.C. So I think G.C. was making a move there on the Mercedes of Matty Pitt. That's what I was looking at. As those guys coming through turn 3 right now. So G.C. up into 7th place. He's done that one quite nicely there. So there they all are. This battle from 3rd all the way down to 8th place. 6 of them in a DRS train here. What a battle we are seeing in the meantime. Badman has taken the lead. So he is now ahead of Ernie out the front. Now that obviously was going to happen because he's got 7 lap fresher tyres. But Ernie currently running in 2nd place, and Madman, I don't know if he's got to pit again. Probably. Do you know what? He probably doesn't have to pit again, Badman. He can probably go to the end of the race from here. So that's going to be exciting to see how that pans out. Has Ernie got the pace to stay within DRS here, maybe? It's only 8 tenths as they come down the hill, so potentially if Ernie has a very strong few corners here. Struggled to stamp on the throttle there, though. You could hear that thing was trying to get away from him. He's still within DRS at the moment. Here we come then. So Ernie is going to get the DRS down the straight, which is going to keep him in play a little bit on the back of the championship leader. Here we go. Rear wing's going to be open now for Ernie. Badman's got very good straight line speed, and it's keeping him in good stead despite the car behind him having DRS, and he's still 7 tenths ahead as they come into the turn 1 braking zone. Scott here's just passed Rexy Boy up into P4. As we've got C-Mac now looking to try and get involved here to the inside into turn 2, a little bit too far away. Has to continue to wait there in that one. But Badman's now got the gap well over a second here to Ernie. As we see John and Mango into the pits here at the end of lap 12. But Scott here trying to pile the pressure on Drauger at the moment. C-Mac there looking to the inside of Rexy Boy into the corner before the castle. Matty Pitt still hunting G.C. for P7 at the moment, as John appears to have come out of the pits. Now he's running in P11. A few seconds behind Mango on the road at the moment. Scott here trying to pile the pressure on the back of the Mercedes driver Draga. He's occupying that final podium spot at the moment, so Scott's going to be in a good position here potentially to make the move with DRS down the straight. He can get a good exit through this series of corners here. He'll have a great chance of blasting past and getting the move into turn 1 potentially. Here we come then. Scott right on the back of Rexy Boy as they hit the DRS zone now, so Scott's going to be getting closer and closer and closer. Is he going to make a move? He's looking to the inside now. Scott up the inside there into turn 1 has made that move, and he's made it stick there beautifully. So Scott up into 3rd place now. So excellent stuff there from him. Badman still leading the race by just over a second ahead of Ernie. There's Scott, Drauger and Rexy Boy there running in P5 at the moment, with C-Mac in very close contention here. G.C. and Matty Pitt also very, very close behind as well here. Gap at the front is extending a little bit. Badman just pulling away by a couple of tenths a lap over Ernie. Nothing major, but the tyre advantage is really showing for the race leader at the moment. Ernie's showing good pace, but it's just his tyres are ancient, and he's still got to put the mediums on at some point in this race as well. I think some of them might be in the same boat though, but Ernie really needs a safety car to get himself back in this one. he needs Truckee to do a Nelson Piquet Jr. as a matter of great urgency, but I would not encourage, condone or tolerate such behaviour, and would not hesitate to call it out if it did blatantly occur. But nonetheless, Scott on the back of Ernie as they come down the pit straight once again. He's going to have DRS and he's going to blast past the Sauber here up into second place. Scott on similar age tyres as well to the race leader Badman, so Scott could definitely be a factor here on Badman over the course of the next 12 laps of the race. Only 3 seconds the gap between them. So what can Scott do here with the race leader? Can Ernie be dragged along here and try and get himself in with those very old hard tyres? Obviously he's got a pit anyway, so it wouldn't make a difference. I reckon we'll see Ernie in at the end of this lap, to be honest with you. Definitely one stopping. I think that's guaranteed. But Scott's already gained about 3/10 on Badman over the course of this lap, so he's absolutely flying at the moment. He's just done his personal best first sector as well. As Drago now looking to try and knock Ernie another position here, with C-Mac and G.C. in hot pursuit as well. Keep getting paranoid that my mic's turned off. Here we go then, Drago on the back of Ernie as they're coming through the final few corners. Can he stay close enough to have a run here down the start finish straight with some DRS to help him out a little bit? I think Ernie's a bit too far away at the moment. Got a great run through his final few corners in Ernie, and just left Drago for dead as they were coming out onto the start finish straight. Into turn 1 we go. Drago might have another chance here to have a crack out of turn 2 with a good exit here. He might have a good chance of getting into the podium positions. Probably shouldn't have fainted to the inside there. That cost him a little bit through the corner and cost his exit as a result. Truckee and Matty are in the pits at the end of lap 15 to put what I thought would be some hard tyres on. Well, Truckee has gone for the mediums, but Matty's gone for the hards. But we can see Matty's teammate Drago hassling the back of Ernie here, Truckee's teammate. As Ernie there, a little bit offline. Drago not in a position to capitalise because it's not really part of the track where you can, unless you've got considerably better tyres. And obviously at this point in the stint, Drago's medium tyres are going to be starting to feel the pace a little bit. Ernie's done a lot of these laps on his hards under safety car, so he would have saved them quite nicely. Drago's done, I think, almost all of these laps at racing speed, but nonetheless he is getting past him. Up into third place, Drago there into the podium positions. He's done well there to make that move for a part of the track where it's not easy to overtake. But Ernie's going to just get a DRS on him this time, so could potentially be about to make the move straight back on him, unless he's going into the pits at the end of this lap, which wouldn't surprise me actually. And then we might see a late resurgence from Ernie, obviously on fresh tyres in these closing stages of the race. As we've got double yellow flags through sector 2, I'm not quite sure why at the moment, just I'll flick through and see if we can find out what the cause of this might be. Scott's in the pits here, which is an odd one, so maybe that suggests that we should be expecting to see Badman in at some point as well, the race leader. So we've got Scott, Drago and Ernie all in the pits here at the end of lap 16. He's going to have a 10 lap run to the end of the race. On Drago medium tyres, it's going to be hards for Scott, which he was on in that previous stint. Ernie's gone for the medium tyre. So Badman's still out the front on tyres which have done quite a lengthy distance here in this race. Scott currently the leader of the trio that have just pitted, so he'll be wanting to get away from Ernie and Drago, but he's on the more durable, slower tyre. So Ernie and Truckee are going to find it a lot easier to get their tyres warmed up than Scott is. But then again, Trocky's not really that close to them. Trocky's got ahead of Matty now. Matty's... Oh, and Matty Pitt has had a moment there going into... I think that's turn... Is that turn 3? I think it is. So Matty Pitt there has gone straight on, has run wide. And as a result of that, he is going to absolutely plummet down the leaderboard here. Is it a safety car? I don't think it is. I've seen that called before where a driver goes straight on at one of the corners and is stopped and the game just calls a safety car. But not on this occasion, which is a good thing because the strategy remains an element of this race. But Matty Pitt has DNF'd here on lap 17, and that is absolutely gutting there for the former champion of Purple Sector here tonight at Baku. Announced his retirement, temporary or otherwise, last week from this Purple Sector F1 League, and at the moment his swan song is not going to plan. But Badman's gap over G.C. currently 12 seconds at the moment, as these guys are all on a similar strategy. C-Max coming into the pits. He put his tyres on at a similar time to Badman and G.C. So seeing a lot of drivers who put their hards on 9, 10, 11 laps ago coming into the pits, which indicates that essentially their tyre life is not going to be sufficient for Badman and G.C. to get these tyres to the end. So I reckon we should probably expect these guys to be coming in for the end of this race. As Ernie's currently on the back of Scott here as they're coming down towards turn 3 once again. And I said before, Ernie would have a much easier time of getting these tyres warmed up. He's on the faster medium tyres compared to Scott on the more durable hards. But I think Scott might be starting to just get a bit of confidence now on the hard tyres. Scott pretty soon will actually be within pit stop range of Badman as well, which could be troublesome here for Badman. It's about 22.5 seconds now, the gap between them. So is Badman going to notice that? I reckon a pit stop must be about 23 seconds here. So Scott could jump Badman if Badman comes in now. This could get very interesting indeed. What does Badman do? Does he try and get these hard tyres to the end of the race? That might be his best bet here. No, he's coming in. So Badman's now coming into the pits. This could promote Scott up into the net lead. Obviously, what's G.C. doing first? Because G.C. might try and go to the end. I mean, I don't think he will. But, you know, I've seen crazier things. G.C. staying out for the time being. Rexy Boy staying out. Rexy Boy will be the net race leader. And he's on medium tyres that can go to the end. Rexy Boy could be the net leader if G.C. comes in. Badman's now out of the pits, so... No, he's come out ahead of Rexy Boy. So Badman's alright. He's come out 2 seconds ahead of Rexy Boy. He's come out 4 seconds ahead of Scott. So Badman still retains what probably is going to be the net lead, because I can't imagine G.C. is going to go to the end on these. And even if he does, he's going to be caught by these guys very quickly here. So Badman retains the net lead of the race and is looking good here tonight for a win, although Rexy Boy, the medium tyres, is going to try and chase him down. If he can get in DRS, he might be able to put him under a bit of pressure here. But Badman's gap to Scott only about 3 seconds, so Scott could definitely be the thorn in his side here tonight. With 7.5 laps left in this race. Well, the odds are very much in Badman's favour with 2 lap fresher tyres and that 3 second cushion. He should be alright. But it's not beyond the realms of possibility here for Scott to get himself into the mix for this race win here tonight. G.C. surely got a pit, but we've seen him go long. We've seen him go to the end in situations like this before, but very often we see him dropping positions left, right and centre in the last couple of laps of the race in these situations. As Badman's now pulling up onto the back of the race leader as they're coming through the final few corners. He'll get DRS, I think, because he was just about within the detection point. So he's going to get an aided bit of mechanical help here. Down the straight we go, getting a little bit closer there into turn 1, because a little bit deep there, this Badman into turn 1. As we see Scott getting ahead of Rex Boy up into 3rd place as well. And Badman here now looking to the inside, and he's going to make the move there for the lead of the race ahead of G.C. So that was a move that we could have seen coming a little while ago. Scott in third place ahead of Rexy Boy now. He's only about 2 seconds off behind Badman. So what can Scott do in the closing stage of this race? Could he be the one to take the fight to the championship leader here tonight? Scott's had the pace. He's got a bit unlucky over the course of tonight with just little things not going his way that have gone the way of Badman. So what has Scott got up his sleeve here to try and put the pressure on Badman? G.C. currently in the way between them. And Scott's going to be frustrated here. He knows that he needs to get ahead as soon as he possibly can if he's going to have any chance of chasing down the leader. But G.C. just driving his race here. Scott knows he'll get DRS down the straight. That'll help him out a little bit and probably help him to recover some of the time that he's lost here through the final part of this lap. He'll want to stay behind but until they get to the DRS line, so he can use that to his advantage a little bit. But he's continuing to lose time to the leader as things stand. But nonetheless, they're coming down the start finish straight once again here. So Scott will get DRS, which will help him to power past G.C. He's already passed him as they come down the start finish straight. So the gap now to Badman is about 2.5 seconds. So Scott's got a lot to overhaul here in the next 6 laps. But as he got it underneath him to do so, it's going to be a really almost an insurmountable task, I would hesitate to say. We saw last season, I remember this round actually was an unbelievable race. Justify ended up coming from the back of the grid to win it due to a well-timed safety car, beat Glenn in that one. That was one of the points in the season. That was one of the turning points where Justify started to really cut the gap in the championship. As we've got a VSC, and we have got a full safety car. I can see it. I can see it. I can see it. It's there. So the full safety car has been deployed with just 5 laps left to go in this race. We have got another full safety car. I'm pretty sure I saw it coming out of the pits. Yep, it definitely is. It definitely is. So once again, the 3rd time in this race, we have got a full safety car. That's going to allow Scott right on top onto the back of Badman here. Now, are any of these guys going to go for some fresh tyres? Because look at this. You've got G.C. and C-Mac on fresh soft tyres in 6th and 7th places. 6th, 7th, sorry. Terrible. Anyway. Yeah, you've got those two in 6th and 7th. And they are going to be in prime position here because obviously they've got the fresh soft tyres on. And they're going to be right behind the leaders. So this is going to be bonkers. I mean, what do these guys at the front do now? They've got a real dilemma on their hands. This is, well, this is, goodness knows what they're going to do here. This is going to be a bit of a tricky situation, you've got to say. But Badman, nonetheless, leads by 2 seconds ahead of Scott as he's staying out on the track. Scott, nothing to lose. He's risking it for a biscuit here. Badman could be vulnerable at the end. He's going to have Scott, G.C. and C-Mac. It looks like everyone's coming in. So Badman, oh man, he is going to be hanging by a thread in his final few laps. So Scott, I think, is going to maintain 2nd place here because Ernie's coming as well. Rexy Boy and Draga coming in behind them. So Scott's going to, surely he's going to win the race. Surely he's got this win in the bag. When you just look at the fact that he's got those, oh shit, he's got those fresh soft tyres on. Sorry, I'm getting excited. He's got those fresh soft tyres on right behind the leader. The only hope that Badman's got is that Scott's tyres burn out after a couple of laps and then Badman might be able to come back at him. That's the only hope that Badman's got here now. But then he's got a load of cars behind him who are going to be trying to overtake him and probably will overtake him. And then he's going to have loads of work to do in the last couple of laps. So I think Badman may have just made a poor decision there. We'll have to see. We will have to see how this goes. But I think he may have just lost the race here. It's going to be interesting now because I think the safety car was called out on lap 20 and then picked them up on lap 21. So it's going to be 3 laps now at the end of this lap. Since the safety car came out, I wonder what they're going to do. Are they going to call it in for the last 3 laps, or is it going to stay out until the end of lap 24? At which point we'll only have a 2-lap dash, and the soft tyres are probably not going to have time to even wear out. So it's going to be giving a big advantage to those who have put the softs on. Let's see what happens, because I reckon the safety car might have to stay out for another lap. And if it does, it's going to be a huge advantage here to the soft runners. The longer this goes on, the more this falls into their hands. So it looks like we are going to have at least one more lap here under safety car, which is a bit annoying. I do kind of want to see some last ditch action. It would be nice. Oh, damn. So we go then, everybody, just a 2-lap dash to the flag here for the Purple Sector Formula 1 League here at Baku tonight for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. This round 17, this 24-round season for season 14. We're going to have Badman leading us away here. He's got a pack of cars right behind him on fresher and faster tyres. How is he going to handle this? I don't think he's going to be able to keep Scott behind him. I think Ernie's probably going to find his way through. Who knows? The rest of the pack have got much better tyres. He's going to find this really, really difficult. He's going to be a sitting duck here, is the championship leader. As we're about to get back underway here for the final 2 laps of this race. He's been out in front leading it for most of it, but due to a very, very unfortunately timed safety car for him, he might be about to lose this race. He's put his foot down and we're underway as we head towards the line here to start the penultimate lap of this race. So Badman leading into turn 1. You've got Rexy Boy there getting around the outside of Ernie up into 3rd place. Has the safety car already been deployed? No, it hasn't. That's just a glitch on the time on the screen. So Badman and Scott here 0.2 of a second apart as they're coming out of turn 2, should I say. And Scott's going to set out after Badman here. He won't get DRS until the final lap of the race to have a real crack at the race leader. As we've got in the background Rexy Boy looking to the inside of Trauger into turn 3, but he's just a bit too far away there to make that move. No safety car yet. Just ignore the safety car graphic on the top left because it's a glitch. I don't know why it's still there, but in the meantime Scott is trying his absolute damnedest here to get ahead of Badman. Badman's done really well here to lead this pack around this first half a lap of this restart on those worn out hard tyres, but how much more is he going to be able to weather this storm? Scott will get the DRS out of turn 2 into turn 3. So if he can make sure he's close coming out of turn 2, he will have the chance to take the lead of the race, and then from there I can't see where Badman's going to make the move back with him, unless of course he can get a good run coming out of the final corner on the final lap of the race. But nonetheless, Scott is right behind him here as they come into the final sector once again. Badman is trying to push to his absolute heart's content here, but he can't really push that much because he's on worn out hard tyres As here they come then, out of the final few corners here. Once again, Scott just has to try and stay close here. Badman has obviously got good straight line speed, which might help him out quite a bit here. But Scott in the slipstream with much better tyres. Here they come, down the straight again. Ernie's a bit too far away from these two to really have any chance at getting them down the straight here. But Scott's staying close to Badman as they come into turn one, so he could have a great chance here. In the background, we've got Rexport to the inside again there on Draga. Still a bit too far away. But here we go then. This is for the race win. If Badman get a good exit here, he might just hold on. And he's got a great exit there as Badman, so he might be alright. Scott here with DRS. He's too far away. Badman may have just executed a brilliant race win here tonight if he's able to hold on ahead of this pack of cars who are all on much fresher tyres than him, or much faster tyres, being that he's on the hard tyres in this final stint of the race. Scott is trying to stay close to him, maybe hoping he might be able to have a crack down the straight in a moment, but Badman's held on really well and has just got half a lap left to go here. He's got through the hardest part, I would say, but this is the part of the track where the softs are going to have an advantage, which will help Scott to stay close here. Through the castle section we go for the final time here at Baku. What has Scott got here to throw at Badman? Oh, he gets a bit sideways there. That could have been the last, that could have been the nail there for Scott. He's still pretty close on Badman as they're coming into the final sector now. They gap under half a second here. As they come into the final sector, gets it nicely over that curb there, does Scott. Under half a second here as they come into the final proper braking zone. Didn't really nail the corner there beautifully, but onto the power pretty well. Here we come then through the final few corners now. I think Badman should be okay, but Scott is going to get the DRS. What's he got? He's not got that much ERS. I think Badman's probably going to be okay here. And Badman has seen out an absolutely brilliant win here tonight. I was worried for him when he stayed out on the hard tyres, but he's done it brilliantly. Over the line comes Badman to take the win. Ahead of Scott second, with Ernie over in third. G.C. finishes fourth, ahead of Drago fifth, with Rexboy over in sixth place. C-Mac seventh. Trucky's going to cross the line here in eighth place in the end, ahead of John in ninth. And it will be Mango to complete the classification there in 10th place. But Badman, a great win tonight. Yet another win here this season at Purple Sector for season 14. The runaway championship leader doing what he does week in, week out. But thanks to everybody for watching, and thanks to the drivers for putting on a great show. And cheers to Purple Sector again for having me. And we'll be back on Thursday night. Cheers, everybody.